Welcome back to Guitar Report. Today I'm going to be changing out some tuners on this Jackson Monarch Pro. I've had it for about 3 years, and the D-string tuner, they're locking tuners, but in my experience, Jackson branded factory tuners are not all that great, and the locking tuners, even on this kind of mid-grade, I guess you would call it, Jackson, aren't all that great either. So the locking mechanism on the D-string has broken on me, so I've had to wrap it like a regular one, and Guyker reached out and asked me if I wanted to review some tuners. So I said, sure, I've got the perfect candidate for it, and we're gonna change out to these. These are the GK-New-11SPs, and they're kind of unique. I'll get a close-up of them in just a second, and we're gonna take off the strings, take off the old tuners, put the new ones on, restring it, and see how they work out. For some specs, I've got some specs written down here because I don't have this kind of stuff memorized. These particular ones for this guitar are 3 left and 3 right, but they do come in 6 left and 6 right in line, and they are a 1:18 gear ratio, 10mm peg hole. The string post overall height is 22mm, the string post diameter is 6mm, and the max string gauge is 1.8mm, or about a 70 on your low E string. They are 45-degree angled screw mount. First we'll move the old strings. Now this right here is the broken one in question, and when you tighten it up so much, it's stripped. It never stops turning. So we're going to put the new ones on. So these are the new ones. These are the Guykers, and as you can see, they've got a really different machine head on them. The tuning button on them is different. It's more like a shaft, and it turns really easily. And everything feels nice and smooth. I don't know if I'm a big fan of that color because it's more of a brass color than it is a gold color, but it's going to be all right. Another angle. All right, so we got 6 left and 6 right. Now I am using the factory screws, and one thing I like to do before I put the screws in, I just get a little bit of wax on them. This is just nothing but paraffin wax. You can use soap. I just get a little bit of wax on them so they go into the wood really easily, and that gives you less of a chance of stripping them. Always be careful when using power tools. This particular impact driver does have a setting so it prevents you from stripping things, but you still got to be very careful. Now that I've got the back side in, I'm just going to get these started with my hands, and then I'm going to use a nut driver. It's a 10mm nut driver to tighten them down. I got a fresh set of D'Addario 10s. Hopefully it doesn't autofocus too much while I'm trying to do this. Now when I use locking tuners, on most of them, on the wound strings, I like to get it at about a 45-degree angle to get it started, because you're not supposed to have a whole lot of turns when you're tightening up locking tuners. That's the whole point of locking tuners. A is to make strings easy, and B, it helps with your tuning stability, having less winds on there. So at a 45-degree angle, you loosen it up enough where you can get these through. Now these are 10s. So this is ultimately a 46. So get it in there. Get it nice and tight. Before I do that, I'm going to apply some nut lube to the nut slots. Got my nuts all lubed up. Don't laugh. And I've got it in there like that, and I'm going to reach under here and I'm going to tighten it up. So I've got it nice and tight. It's floppy still. I'll turn it around here so you can see it better. Nice and tight right there. And you can cut out the excess now, or you can just cut most of it off. And we'll trim that down a little bit later. And to tighten, it's actually, you'd think it'd be tighter, but it actually works really well. I don't have a tuner plugged in right now, but that's the basics of it. Let's get the rest of them all strung up, and then I'll talk about them a little bit more. So I've got everything set up, I've got it tuned, I've got all the things clipped, they fit in there nicely. I wasn't sure how I would like these tuners. The way they look is kind of weird because we're so used to a regular conventional tuner. Because a conventional tuning button, we're so used to seeing these. Something like this is just kind of out of this world, but I like it. You can get these tuners for about 70 bucks on Guyker's website. They got that 1:18 gear ratio is nice and tight, and when you turn it, it feels like you're fine tuning it, as opposed to having to go this way and that way with your standard tuning button. And so far, I like them. I like the look. Like I said, I don't really care much for the color because it's a little bit different. It's more of a yellowy, brassy color than it is the gold hardware that I already have on this thing. But I like them, and I think I'm going to be looking into more Guyker tuners. It's not my first Guyker product, but I dig it. If you want to check them out, there'll be a link down in the description, as well as a lot of other beautiful Guyker tuners in a lot of different colors. The link may or may not be an affiliate link. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. So go ahead and check that out, and if you can match up some of these tuners to the color of your guitar. If you got a red guitar, they've got red tuners. You got a blue guitar, they got blue tuners, black tuners, silver tuners, and a bunch of different varieties, and they are a very quality product. So if you're looking for a new set of quality tuners, check out Guyker. They also have a lot of other accessories on their website. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.